The crash landing. The night sky over the dense forest erupted in a brilliant flash of light. A streaking fireball tore through the atmosphere, leaving a trail of ionized particles in its wake. To any observers, it might have appeared to be an unusually large meteor, but this was no natural phenomenon. Princess Lyra of the Centauri Confederation gritted her teeth as she fought to maintain control of her small craft. Warning klaxons blared throughout the cockpit, the ship's systems failing one by one as it plummeted towards the surface of the primitive world below. Earth, the humans called it, a backwater planet on the fringes of explored space, chosen precisely for its obscurity. Of all the places to crash, Lyra muttered, her iridescent eyes narrowing as she scanned the rapidly approaching terrain. Dense forest canopy filled her view screen, offering no suitable landing zones. With a resigned sigh, she braced for impact. The ship plowed through the treetops, branches and leaves shredding against its hull in a cacophony of screeching metal. It slammed into the earth, carving a deep furrow through the forest floor before coming to rest in a small clearing. Steam hissed from ruptured coolant lines as the mangled craft settled into an uneasy silence. Inside the cockpit, Lyra hung limply in her restraints, violet blood trickling from a gash on her forehead. Her last conscious thought before blackness took her was a prayer to the cosmic forces that her pursuers had lost her trail in the chaos of her desperate flight. Miles away, in a ramshackle cabin on the outskirts of the forest, Max stirred from his sleep. The golden retriever's ears perked up, sensing something amiss in his domain. His human had long since abandoned this place, leaving Max to fend for himself, but the loyal dog had refused to leave the only home he'd ever known. A faint, acrid scent carried on the night breeze caught Max's attention. It was unlike anything he'd encountered before, sharp, metallic, and distinctly alien. Curiosity overcame caution, and the dog set out into the wilderness, his powerful nose guiding him towards the source of the disturbance. As dawn broke, casting long shadows through the misty forest, Dr. Elena Reyes trudged along an overgrown trail. Her backpack was laden with scientific equipment, her mind focused on the day's research ahead. As a xenobiologist, she'd chosen this remote location to study the unique ecosystem that had developed in isolation. Little did she know, she was about to encounter a life form far beyond anything she'd imagined. The sound of breaking branches snapped Elena out of her reverie. She froze, eyes scanning the underbrush for signs of wildlife. Instead, she locked gazes with a pair of warm brown eyes belonging to a bedraggled golden retriever. "Hey there, boy," Elena said softly, crouching down and extending her hand. "Are you lost?" The dog whined, then turned and trotted a few paces down the trail before looking back expectantly. Elena furrowed her brow, torn between following her research schedule and indulging her curiosity. The dog barked once, insistently. All right, she chuckled. "Lead the way." As they moved deeper into the forest, Elena noticed signs of disturbance, broken branches, scorched earth, and a faint trail of some viscous purple liquid that definitely wasn't sap. Her scientific mind raced with possibilities, each more outlandish than the last. They crested a small rise, and Elena's jaw dropped. In the clearing below lay the unmistakable wreckage of a craft that was decidedly not of earthly origin. Its sleek lines and otherworldly materials defied any known human engineering. "Oh my God," she breathed, fumbling for her camera. The dog, however, had other ideas. He bounded down the slope towards the crash site, barking excitedly. Elena hurried after him, her heart pounding with equal parts excitement and trepidation. As she approached the downed craft, movement caught her eye. A figure stirred within the shattered cockpit, humanoid, but clearly alien. Iridescent skin shimmered with an inner light, and when the being's eyes fluttered open, Elena gasped at their swirling, galaxy-like depth. The alien princess locked eyes with the human scientist, two worlds colliding in a moment that would change the course of galactic history. For a heartbeat, neither moved, the weight of first contact hanging heavy in the air between them. It was Max who broke the tension, padding over to Lyra and gently licking her injured hand. The alien princess managed a weak smile, reaching out to scratch behind the dog's ears with a four-fingered hand. "Well," Elena said, finding her voice at last, "I guess this changes everything." Lyra struggled to sit up, wincing at the pain that lanced through her body. "You have no idea," she replied, her words translated by the ship's failing universal translator. "And I fear the changes have only just begun." As if on cue, a distant rumble shook the forest. Lyra's eyes widened in panic. "They found me," she whispered. Elena helped the alien princess from the wreckage, her mind reeling as she tried to process the situation. "Who's found you? What's going on?" Lyra's luminous eyes met Elena's, filled with a mixture of fear and determination. "The fate of your world and mine hangs in the balance, human. We need to move now. I'll explain everything, but first, we must find shelter." Max barked in agreement, his tail wagging as he took up a protective stance beside the unlikely pair. As they fled into the depths of the forest, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that she'd just become embroiled in something far greater than she could have ever imagined. The trees seemed to close in around them as they moved deeper into the wilderness. Lyra leaned heavily on Elena, her alien physiology struggling to cope with Earth's atmosphere and gravity. Max led the way, his keen senses alert for any sign of danger. "My name is Princess Lyra of the Centauri Confederation," the alien began between labored breaths. "I fled my homeworld to escape a coup that threatens not just my people, but the stability of this entire sector of the galaxy." Elena's mind raced to keep up with the implications. A galactic coup, and it involves Earth somehow. Lyra nodded grimly. "The usurpers who seized power fear the potential of young races like humanity. They seek to suppress emerging civilizations before they can challenge the established order." They paused at the base of a towering oak, Lyra sagging against its trunk in exhaustion. Elena rummaged through her backpack, producing a water bottle and some trail mix. She offered them to the alien princess, who accepted gratefully after a moment's hesitation. "This coup," Elena pressed, her scientific curiosity overriding her shock. "How did it happen? And why come to Earth of all places?" Lyra's multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with barely contained emotion. "It was orchestrated by a faction known as the Void Collective. They preach isolation and stagnation, fearing the chaos and change that come with cultural exchange." She paused, taking a sip of water. "As for why Earth, your world is on the cusp of a great leap forward. The collective seeks to prevent that at all costs." Max's ears suddenly perked up, a low growl rumbling in his chest. Both Lyra and Elena tensed, scanning the forest around them. A faint whine, almost below the threshold of human hearing, began to fill the air. "Seeker drones," Lyra hissed. "We need to move." As they scrambled to their feet, a metallic sphere the size of a basketball burst through the canopy above. It hovered menacingly, a red sensor sweeping over the area. Max barked defiantly, drawing its attention. "No!" Elena cried, but it was too late. The drone fired a crackling energy bolt at the dog. To everyone's astonishment, the blast seemed to ripple around Max, dissipating harmlessly into the ground. Lyra's eyes widened in wonder. "Impossible," she breathed. "Unless—" Before she could finish her thought, Max launched himself at the drone, his jaws clamping down on its metallic shell. Sparks flew as the dog's teeth somehow pierced the advanced alien alloy. The drone crashed to the forest floor, twitching and sputtering. Elena stared at Max in disbelief. How did he do that? Lyra shook her head, a glimmer of hope kindling in her eyes. "I'm not sure, but I have a theory. Your canine companion may be more than he appears." She knelt beside Max, placing a hand on his fur. "In all my studies of Earth, one constant stood out, the unique bond between humans and their dogs. Perhaps that bond holds more power than even we realized." A series of explosions in the distance cut their speculation short. The sky above the forest began to darken unnaturally, as if a great shadow were passing overhead. "It's the Void Collective's flagship," Lyra said, her voice tight with fear. They're preparing to initiate a planetary quarantine. If they succeed, Earth will be cut off from the rest of the galaxy, unable to progress beyond its current state of development. Elena's mind raced, trying to grasp the enormity of the situation. How do we stop them? Surely Earth's military. Lyra shook her head. Your weapons would be useless against their technology. Our only hope is to contact my loyalist forces. They can challenge the Collective's ships, but I need to reach them first. Okay, Elena said, taking a deep breath to steady herself. What do you need? Components from my crashed ship, combined with some of your planet's technology. With the right modifications, we might be able to boost a signal through the quarantine net. Max barked, as if in agreement with the plan. Elena couldn't help but smile, despite the dire circumstances. All right then. Looks like humanity's fate rests on a xenobiologist, an alien princess, and a very special dog. Let's save the world. As they set off back towards the crash site, Elena's scientific mind was already racing through possibilities. Earth technology might be primitive compared to the galactic standard, but human ingenuity had a way of creating solutions that defied conventional wisdom. With Lyra's knowledge and her own expertise, there was a chance, slim as it might be, that they could pull this off. The fate of two worlds now rested on their shoulders, an unlikely trio united against a threat beyond imagination. As the shadow of the Void Collective's ships loomed ever larger, a spark of defiance ignited in Elena's heart. Humanity might be young in the cosmic scale, but they were far from helpless. It was time to show the galaxy what Earth was truly capable of: quantum bonds and cosmic secrets. As the alien flagship loomed overhead, casting an ominous shadow across the forest, Elena, Lyra, and Max raced against time. The unlikely trio navigated the dense underbrush, their path illuminated by the eerie glow of Lyra's bioluminescent skin. We need to hurry, Lyra panted, her alien physiology struggling with Earth's atmosphere. The Void Collective will soon begin their planetary lockdown procedure. Elena's mind whirled with questions, but survival took precedence. What exactly are we looking for in your ship? Lyra's multifaceted eyes shimmered with determination. The quantum entanglement core. It's our key to breaking through their communication barrier. As they neared the crash site, Max suddenly froze, his hackles rising. A low growl rumbled in his chest, warning of unseen danger. Elena instinctively reached for the dog, her hand brushing against his fur. In that moment, something extraordinary happened. A surge of energy coursed through Elena, her vision blurring and expanding. Suddenly, she could perceive quantum fluctuations in the air around them, the very fabric of space-time rippling like a disturbed pond. What's happening? Elena gasped, overwhelmed by the influx of cosmic awareness. Lyra's eyes widened in astonishment. By the stars, it's true. The legends of Earth's canines, they're real. Before Elena could question further, a shimmering distortion materialized before them. From it emerged a being that defied description, a creature of angles and geometries that shouldn't exist in three-dimensional space. Void Stalker, Lyra cried out in alarm. The entity's voice reverberated in their minds, dripping with malevolence. Your resistance is futile, little ones. This world will be quarantined, its potential forever stunted. Max barked defiantly, placing himself between the cosmic horror and his companions. To Elena's amazement, the dog's form began to shift and blur, as if he existed in multiple realities simultaneously. The quantum hound, the Void Stalker hissed, recoiling slightly. Impossible. Lyra's voice was filled with awe as she explained, in every reality where humanity reaches the stars, there's always a loyal dog by their side. Max isn't just a pet, he's a cosmic constant, the embodiment of the unbreakable bond between humans and canines. Elena felt a swell of emotions, pride, love, and a sense of cosmic significance she'd never imagined possible. She placed her hand on Max's back, and the surge of quantum awareness returned. In that moment, she understood. "Max," Elena commanded, her voice resonating with newfound power. "Fetch." The quantum hound leaped into action, his form blurring as he phased through multiple realities. He reappeared an instant later, the Void Stalker's dimensional anchor clenched in his jaws. The cosmic horror shrieked in fury as its connection to our reality destabilized. "This changes nothing," the entity howled as it was drawn back into the void. "The collective will prevail." As the dimensional rift sealed, Elena sagged against a tree, overwhelmed by the experience. What just happened?" Lyra's eyes sparkled with renewed hope. "You've unlocked a power that the Void Collective fears above all else, the ability to manipulate quantum reality itself. It's why they're so desperate to isolate Earth. Your species' bond with canines is more than mere companionship. It's a key to unimaginable cosmic potential." Max wagged his tail, looking for all the world like an ordinary happy dog. Elena scratched behind his ears, marveling at the hidden depths within her furry friend. "We need to reach my ship," Lyra urged. "With your newfound abilities and the quantum entanglement core, we might stand a chance of breaking the quarantine." As they resumed their journey, the forest around them seemed to pulse with hidden energies. Elena's perception flickered between normal reality and the quantum realm, glimpsing parallel worlds and the intricate web of probability that connected all things. They reached the crash site, the alien vessel's sleek hull marred by impact damage and Earth's vegetation. Lyra led them to a pulsing crystal at the heart of the ship. "The quantum entanglement core," she explained. "It allows for instantaneous communication across vast distances by exploiting the principles of quantum non-locality." Elena nodded, her scientific mind racing to integrate this new knowledge with her earthly understanding of physics. "If we can interface it with my equipment, we might be able to boost the signal enough to punch through the collective's jamming field." As Lyra worked to extract the core, Elena unpacked her research gear. Max kept watch, his heightened senses alert for any sign of danger. The dog's form occasionally blurred, as if he were occupying multiple positions simultaneously. "I've got it," Lyra announced, carefully removing a pulsing, crystalline sphere from the ship's innards. "Now we need tow." Her words were cut short by a deafening roar from above. The forest canopy was torn away, revealing the vast underbelly of the Void Collective's flagship. A beam of crackling energy lanced down, barely missing their position. "They found us," Elena shouted over the din. Lyra thrust the quantum core into Elena's hands. "Quick, use your connection to Max. Visualize the signal spreading across the quantum foam of the universe." Elena closed her eyes, one hand on the alien device, the other buried in Max's fur. She felt the surge of cosmic awareness flood through her once more. In her mind's eye, she saw the quantum entanglement core's energy intertwining with the very fabric of spacetime. Max let out a howl that echoed across dimensions. The quantum core pulsed in response, its energy amplified beyond anything Lyra had thought possible. A beam of pure information shot skyward, punching through the Void Collective's blockade as if it were tissue paper. The response was immediate. The dark sky above them erupted in a dazzling light show as Lyra's loyalist forces emerged from hyperspace, engaging the Void Collective's ships in a spectacular battle. It worked. Lyra cried out in jubilation. The cavalry has arrived. But their victory was short-lived. The ground beneath them began to tremble and crack, dimensional energies warping the local spacetime. The quantum surge, Lyra gasped in horror. It's destabilizing reality itself. As fractures in the very fabric of the universe began to spread around them, Elena realized that their actions had set in motion events beyond even Lyra's understanding. The fate of not just Earth, but the entire cosmos, now hung in the balance. Max growled, his form shifting rapidly between states of quantum superposition. Elena felt the dog's determination flow through their bond. Whatever cosmic catastrophe they had unleashed, they would face it together. "Hold on," Elena shouted as reality itself began to unravel around them. The quantum entanglement core pulsed with blinding energy, enveloping the trio in a cocoon of possibility. In that moment, suspended between realities, Elena knew that humanity's destiny among the stars would be shaped by the choices they made next. The true nature of the universe, and humanity's place within it, was about to be revealed. Cosmic awakening. The universe shattered around them like a kaleidoscope of infinite possibilities. Elena, Lyra, and Max found themselves suspended in a swirling vortex of quantum foam, the very building blocks of reality visible to their newly awakened senses. By the celestial nexus, Lyra gasped, her alien eyes wide with wonder. We've pierced the veil of creation itself. Elena struggled to process the incomprehensible vastness surrounding them. Strands of probability weaved intricate patterns, each thread a potential timeline or alternate reality. What is this place? The quantum nexus, Lyra explained, her voice filled with awe. The crossroads of all possible universes. No being has ever accessed it directly, until now. Max barked, his form shifting through countless variations: wolf, fox, coyote, and creatures beyond earthly imagination. The cosmic canine's tail wagged, sending ripples through the fabric of spacetime. Suddenly, a booming voice echoed through the void, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Inti lo udias, en alamealais, you do not belong. A colossal entity materialized before them, its form constantly shifting between abstract geometric patterns and vaguely humanoid shapes. Eyes like swirling galaxies focused on the trio. I am Omega, the cosmic arbiter, the being intoned. Your actions have triggered a multiversal crisis. The walls between realities grow thin. Explain yourselves. Elena swallowed hard, finding her voice. We were trying to save Earth from the Void Collective. We didn't mean to cause any damage. Omega's form pulsed with energy. The Void Collective is but a symptom of a greater cosmic imbalance. Your Earth, and the unique bond between humans and canines, holds the key to restoring equilibrium. Lyra's bioluminescent skin flickered with excitement. The legends were true. Earth isn't just a primitive world, it's a cosmic linchpin. Correct, young Centauri, Omega confirmed. Humanity's potential is both a promise and a threat. The quantum nexus has guided your species' evolution, preparing for this moment. Max growled, positioning himself protectively in front of Elena and Lyra. The cosmic arbiter's countless eyes focused on the dog. Ah, the quantum hound, Omega mused. The embodiment of loyalty across all realities. Your bond with humanity is the fulcrum upon which the fate of the cosmos now balances. Elena's mind reeled, struggling to grasp the cosmic significance being thrust upon them. What do you mean? How can our relationship with dogs affect the entire universe? Omega's form shifted, creating a mind-bending display of the multiverse's structure. The emotion you call love is not merely a chemical reaction, but a fundamental force that binds reality together. The unconditional love between humans and their canine companions generates quantum entanglement on a cosmic scale. Lyra's eyes widened in understanding. Of course, that's why the Void Collective fears Earth's potential. They're not just stifling technological progress, they're trying to prevent a cosmic awakening. Precisely, Omega confirmed. The Void Collective seeks to maintain the current cosmic status quo, fearing the chaos that comes with evolution. But stagnation leads only to entropy and heat death of the multiverse. Elena felt a surge of determination. The fate of everything rested on humanity's shoulders, on the simple, profound bond she shared with Max. She scratched behind the cosmic canine's ears, feeling the quantum connection pulse between them. What do we need to do? She asked, her voice steady despite the weight of cosmic responsibility. Omega's form coalesced into a swirling vortex. You must return to your reality and complete the awakening. Humanity must realize its true potential and take its place as guardians of the cosmic balance. But the Void Collective, Lyra began. will be but the first of many challenges, Omega interrupted. The path ahead is fraught with peril, but it is a journey that must be undertaken. The cosmic arbiter's form began to fade. Remember, the power lies not in advanced technology or weapons, but in the bonds between all living things. Now go, and may the quantum flux be with you. With a blinding flash, Elena, Lyra, and Max found themselves back in the forest clearing. The Void Collective's ships still loomed overhead, locked in battle with Lyra's loyalist forces. But something had changed. The air itself seemed to shimmer with possibility. Helena looked at Max, seeing her faithful companion with new eyes. The dog's form flickered occasionally, revealing glimpses of his cosmic nature. She then turned to Lyra, the alien princess who had brought this destiny to Earth's doorstep. "So," Elena said, a hint of a smile playing on her lips despite the gravity of the situation, "how do we awaken an entire planet to its cosmic potential?" Lyra's multifaceted eyes sparkled with determination. "We show them the truth. The Void Collective's greatest weapon is ignorance. Once humanity understands its true nature, their power will be unstoppable." Max barked in agreement, his tail wagging as reality rippled around him. The trio set off towards the nearest human settlement, ready to spark a cosmic revolution that would reshape the very foundations of the universe. As they walked, Elena felt the quantum connections between all living things, a web of love and loyalty that stretched across the cosmos. Humanity's journey to the stars wouldn't be driven by rockets and spaceships, but by the very force that had been with them all along, the unconditional love of man's best friend. The fate of the multiverse now rested on a xenobiologist, an alien princess, and a very special dog. As the first hints of dawn broke over the horizon, Elena realized that this was more than just humanity's first step into a larger universe. It was the beginning of a cosmic awakening that would echo across eternity. Little did they know, their adventure was far from over. The Void Collective was regrouping, and ancient cosmic forces beyond even Omega's comprehension was stirring. The battle for the future of the multiverse was just beginning, and at its heart stood the unbreakable bond between a girl and her dog, a love powerful enough to reshape reality itself. The Quantum Entanglement Gambit. The forest erupted into chaos as plasma bolts sizzled through the air, setting the underbrush ablaze. Princess Zora, Dr. Ellie Chen, and Stella the dog found themselves caught in a deadly game of cat and mouse with the alien bounty hunters. "We need to move," Zora shouted, her voice barely audible over the cacophony of alien weaponry. "They're using quantum-locked targeting systems. If we stay still, we're finished." Ellie's scientific mind raced, processing this new information. Quantum-locked, like entangled particles. "Exactly," Zora confirmed as they sprinted through the woods, ducking and weaving to avoid the energy blasts. "Their weapons are linked to our biosignatures. The more we move, the harder it is for them to get a lock." Stella darted ahead, his keen senses guiding them through the treacherous terrain. The dog's unexpected presence seemed to confuse the hunters' tracking systems, buying the fugitives precious seconds as they ran. Ellie's eyes lit up with a spark of inspiration. "Wait, I have an idea. My research camp, I was studying quantum fluctuations in the local ecosystem. If we can reach my equipment, we might be able to create a large-scale entanglement field." Zora's luminous green eyes widened in understanding. "A quantum smokescreen. Brilliant, Dr. Chen. Lead the way." They changed course, heading back towards Ellie's hidden camp. The bounty hunters, clad in sleek exosuits that seemed to shimmer in and out of reality, pursued relentlessly. Their inhuman shrieks echoed through the forest, a chilling reminder of the alien threat Earth now faced. As they neared the camp, Ellie shouted instructions to Zora. "There's a silver case near my tent. Inside is a prototype quantum entanglement generator. We need to overload it." Zora nodded, her royal training kicking in as she took charge of the situation. "I'll handle the device. You and Stella create a diversion." While Zora raced for the equipment, Ellie grabbed her tranquilizer gun and a handful of flashbang grenades. For extreme wildlife encounters, she explained hastily. Stella stood at her side, hackles raised and ready for action. The first bounty hunter burst into the clearing, its mask-like face swiveling as it searched for its prey. Ellie didn't hesitate. She lobbed a flashbang, the deafening explosion and blinding light disorienting the alien long enough for Stella to launch himself at the creature, knocking it off balance. Meanwhile, Zora worked feverishly to modify the quantum entanglement generator, her fingers dancing over the delicate circuitry, bypassing safety protocols and pushing the device far beyond its intended capacity. "It's ready," she called out, just as two more hunters appeared at the edge of the camp. "Now, Zora," Ellie shouted, diving for cover with Stella. The alien princess activated the device, and for a moment, reality itself seemed to ripple. A wave of quantum energy burst outward, enveloping the entire area in a shimmering field of probability. The effect on the bounty hunters was immediate and dramatic. Their quantum-locked weapons went haywire, firing wildly in all directions as the targeting systems lost cohesion. The aliens stumbled, their own molecular structures briefly phasing in and out of sync with baseline reality. Taking advantage of the confusion, Zora, Ellie, and Stella made their escape, plunging back into the depths of the forest. They didn't stop running until they were certain they had lost their pursuers. Finally, gasping for breath, they collapsed in a small gully hidden from view by dense foliage. As the adrenaline wore off, the full impact of what had just occurred began to sink in. That was, Ellie panted, struggling to find words. "Incredible," Zora finished, a note of admiration in her voice. "Your quick thinking saved us, Dr. Chen. I've never seen anyone weaponize quantum entanglement like that before." Ellie managed a weak laugh. "Just a typical day in the field for a xenobiologist, right?" As Stella nuzzled both of them, checking for injuries, Zora's expression grew serious. "They'll be back, and in greater numbers. We fought ourselves some time, but we need a more permanent solution." Ellie nodded, her scientist's mind already racing with possibilities. "We need to contact your allies, warn the authorities. But how? Your ship's communications are down, and I can't exactly call the Pentagon on my satellite phone and tell them we're facing an alien invasion." Zora's eyes lit up with a sudden idea. "Maybe we don't need to repair my ship's long-range communicator. What if we could boost the signal of your communication devices using principles of quantum tunneling?" Quantum tunneling? Ellie's excitement was palpable. "You mean like faster-than-light communication? That's possible." "With the right equipment, yes," Zora confirmed. "We need to combine your Earth technology with some components from my ship. It's a long shot, but it might be our only chance," Ellie finished. She glanced at Stella, who wagged his tail encouragingly. "Well, boy, looks like we're in for another adventure. You up for it?" The dog barked once, as if saying, "Always." As the unlikely trio set off once more, this time with a daring plan to bridge the gap between Earth's technology and the advanced science of the galactic community, the fate of two worlds hung in the balance. The next few hours would determine not just their survival, but potentially the future of humanity's place among the stars. Little did they know that their quantum entanglement experiment had caught the attention of more than just the bounty hunters. Somewhere in the depths of space, ancient and powerful eyes turned towards Earth, awakened by the ripples of possibilities spreading across the cosmos. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy, with humanity poised to play a pivotal role in events beyond their wildest imaginations. The quantum entanglement gambit had begun, and there was no turning back now. Unveiling the cosmic tapestry. As dawn broke over the forest, casting an ethereal glow through the morning mist, Princess Zora, Dr. Ellie Chen, and Stella the dog crouched at the edge of a clearing. Before them lay the twisted wreckage of Zora's spacecraft, its once sleek hull now a maze of scorched metal and exposed circuitry. "Okay," Ellie whispered, her eyes darting nervously around the perimeter. "Walk me through this quantum tunneling communication thing again. How exactly is this going to work?" Zora's luminous green eyes narrowed in concentration as she explained, "We're going to create a microscopic Einstein-Rosen bridge, what you might call a wormhole, using the quantum flux capacitor from my ship's engine. Then we use your Earth device to transmit a signal through it." Ellie blinked, her scientific mind reeling at the implications. "A wormhole in my phone. That's incredible. But won't that require an enormous amount of energy?" The alien princess nodded grimly. "More than your planet's entire power grid could generate. That's why we need the zero-point energy module from my ship's core. It taps into the quantum foam of the universe itself." As they carefully made their way towards the crash site, Stella suddenly froze, his hackles rising. A low growl rumbled in his throat. "What is it, boy?" Ellie whispered, her hand instinctively reaching for the makeshift weapon they cobbled together, a modified cattle prod infused with exotic particles from Zora's personal shield generator. Before Zora could respond, the air shimmered and three intimidating figures materialized before them. Their armor seemed to bend light around it, and their faces were obscured by visors that glowed with an otherworldly energy. "Temporal enforcers," Zora hissed, her voice tight with fear. "The Galactic Imperium must be truly desperate to send them." "Temporal enforcers," Ellie's voice cracked. "As in time-traveling police?" "Precisely," one of the enforcers responded, its voice a discordant blend of tones that sent chills down Ellie's spine. "We've pursued the princess across millennia to prevent a future where her actions lead to the downfall of the Imperium. Surrender now, and your deaths will be swift." Ellie's mind raced. Death, the downfall of an alien empire. This was escalating far beyond a simple rescue mission. She glanced at Zora, seeing the weight of unspoken knowledge heavy in the alien princess's eyes. In that moment, something shifted within Ellie. Fear gave way to determination, confusion to clarity. She was no longer just a scientist caught up in events beyond her understanding. She was now a defender of Earth's future, a pivotal player in a cosmic game. "Like hell," Ellie growled, raising her exotic particle cattle prod. "Stella, now." The loyal dog sprang into action, his jaws clamping down on a device one of the enforcers had been reaching for. Simultaneously, Ellie and Zora launched their attack. What followed was a battle that defied the laws of physics. The temporal enforcers phased in and out of time, their movements a blur of deadly precision. But Zora's royal combat training and Ellie's unexpected creativity proved a formidable combination. Ellie's jury-rigged weapon crackled with temporal energy, each strike sending the enforcers reeling through micro-timelines. Zora's mastery of quantum martial arts allowed her to predict and counter their time-slipping maneuvers. And Stella, dear loyal Stella, seemed to exist in all moments at once, his very presence disrupting the enforcer's temporal coherence. As the battle reached its climax, Ellie found herself face to face with the lead enforcer. Time seemed to slow as she met his inhuman gaze. "You don't understand the consequences of your actions," the creature hissed. "The future you're fighting for will lead to the end of everything." Ellie's grip on her weapon tightened. "Maybe," she shot back, "but it's our future to shape, not yours to dictate." With a primal yell, she struck. The cattle prod connected, and a burst of chronokinetic energy exploded outward. The enforcers screamed in unified agony as they were ripped from the time stream, scattered across the infinite possibilities of the multiverse. As the temporal distortion faded, leaving behind an eerie silence, Ellie turned to Zora. The princess's expression was a mix of relief, admiration, and, was that guilt? "Zora," Ellie said slowly, "what aren't you telling me? What do they mean about the downfall of their empire?" The alien royal took a deep breath. "Dr. Chen, Ellie, there's so much more at stake here than just my rescue. The fate of both our civilizations, the very future of this galaxy, hinges on the choices we make in the coming days." Stella whined softly, sensing the weight of the moment. Ellie knelt to scratch behind his ears, buying herself a moment to process it all. "All right," she said finally, standing to face Zora. "No more secrets. It's time you told me everything." As Zora began to explain, weaving a tale of an ancient prophecy, a forbidden love, and a future where their two species would either rise together or fall in flames, Ellie felt the weight of destiny settling upon her shoulders. They still needed to repair the quantum communicator, to send a signal across the stars and set in motion events that would shake the foundations of the galaxy. But now, armed with the knowledge of what was truly at stake, Ellie knew that failure was not an option. Earth's first contact with an alien civilization wouldn't be a peaceful exchange of knowledge and culture, as she had once dreamed. It would be a baptism by fire, a crucible that would test the metal of humanity and forge their place among the stars. And at the center of it all, an unlikely trio, a brilliant scientist, an exiled alien princess, and a dog who was so much more than he appeared. Together, they would unravel the secrets of the cosmos, rewrite the laws of physics, and shape the destiny of worlds. The cosmic tapestry was about to be unveiled, and Ellie, Zora, and Stella held the threads that would determine the pattern of the future. The universe would never be the same.